The audio podcast version of the Disturbed Penguin podcast is made possible by Xavier Penguin's free time while at work. Visit disturbed-penguin.net to get an insight to the life of Xavier Penguin, as well as links to his various social sites he is a part of.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Disturbed Penguin podcast. As always, this is Xavier Penguin. Oh my goodness. It does feel very good to get back in the groove, as the title so states. Welcome back to the podcast that really doesn't mean anything, and it gives me something to do every so often. Let's see here. Kind of doing a new setup, trying to play around with some settings of sorts. Previously, I was recording on my Samsung Galaxy S6. But right now, since I've gotten a new phone and I've had it for a little bit, this is the first recording that I'm using. It's the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, and I'm trying to record in stereo. So hopefully you can hear me on the left side, and if I move to the right, hopefully you can hear me here. Ooh, I peeked. I'm going to have to fix that. Anyway, it does feel good to be able to sit here and just yap and everything else. Because a lot of the other times, like, even in recording, this is the part that I'm having problems with. And you would think after me doing... Oh, come on, air conditioner! You would think that by doing YouTube videos, I would get commentary down a little bit better, but no. Most of the commentary I do is either about the game or what I'm doing at that time. I've tried to do that on the Farlander server, on the Farlander Patreon server by Mr. Kurt J. Mack, but it works, but it doesn't. I don't know, maybe I'm just not doing it right, but at least with this, I can... Let me rearrange my chair real quick. Might hear some noises. But at least with this, I'm actually able to kind of sit down and actually have a talk. Get my mind off things and just be able to put it out there. Hopefully, this will go up today. I'm recording... Hey, no screen. Why? I don't want you to turn off. Interface. No, that's not it. Oh, you got a vibration sound. Advanced in troubleshooting. Sleep mode while playing. Allow screen off. No. Leave screen on. Thank you. And vibration sound. One more time. And I need to turn off my sound. Wait. On the fly, folks. On the fly. Alright, cool. So I am muted. And vibration sound. But I'm actually able just to sit down and actually just talk. I've got my notes in front of me on what I want to talk about. But it does feel good to be able to do this. The one thing I do need to do... No. I'll get to that in a second. What I was about to say was I'm recording on August 30th, 2017. Hopefully I can get this edited and recorded from whenever I get home. Because I'm currently at work at the moment. Waiting on a customer or two to come in. So I figured, hey, why not? I'll just record here. Mach 1 Fireman had said that, I did a good podcast. I'm like, I'm just rambling on most of the time. I would do it at my home with, a better setup and stuff. But it's like, I can get distracted way too easily, and I think I'd rather have the somewhat peace and quiet with the air conditioner in the background kind of noise of work that kind of thing. So I'm hoping to bring this back every couple of weeks and talk about random things and all of that jazz. But this week, I apologize for not putting out my own little shitty podcast. Just a lot of things have just been in motion that has prevented me from really doing any kind of recording, most of which is work and some recording stuff. Mostly work, though. Currently, where I work at, I am in the electronic cigarette business. The place where I operate from is, we have 2 stores, and you've heard me say this before, I've got a South County store, then I have another store up here at Bridgeton, here in St. Louis, Missouri. Not Missouri, Missouri. There's no at the end of Missouri. Get it fucking right. So, I've been dealing with the FDA, along with my IT guy, my pilot. He's our IT administrator. I've been helping and have helped and completed creating images for the bottles that we have of our juice, because we do make our own. I've been helping him create the images, create those with the proper wording, soda opening, creating that with the proper wording, proper SKU label, PG/VG mixture and nicotine level. Oh my goodness. Coke is good. Coca-Cola, that is. I had to create or help create a lot of images, and that was around, probably about 3,000 plus labels for all of our juice. But then we had to double that because the labels themselves have to have a SKU number. Because apparently if you use a label, that is now considered a tobacco product. Which is so fucking dumb. Oh my goodness. This whole FDA stuff in regards to e-cigs. Now, some of you out there may be like, well, we don't know all there is to know about e-cigs, or there's not enough studies done on them, and that's all fine and dandy. And while there is more research to be done, a lot of it has been done already. Regardless of what you might think, the e-cig industry, we have a lot of regulations placed on us, and in my opinion, quite unfairly compared to other situations. Now, don't get me wrong, I am all fine with some regulation. Hell, if you want to tax us a little bit, let the government get their piece of the pie. I'm not all against regulation. I'm against regulation to the point where it puts me out of a job and my work out of business. That's the part that I don't agree with. And a lot of this, and I'll have to do a little bit more research to be a little bit more articulate and answer questions a little bit better. Excuse me. Here are some current regulations that I agree with. 1, can't sell to anyone under 18. Can't sell to minors. I'm completely fine with that. 2, you have to have child-resistant bottles. Not child-proof, but child-resistant. I am okay with that. We don't want children or kids of various ages to get into the e-juice and possibly get them sick. Depending on the level of nicotine, it can make anyone sick. Not just a kid, but an adult as well. I've got a great story about that. I agree with those. I agree with the third regulation of having information out stating that you can't sell to minors and things of that nature. But then there are other pieces of regulation that we have to comply with, as in, if you're between the ages of 18 and 27, we have to have a photocopy of your ID on file, whether it be a passport or a driver's license, or even the piece of paper that you get whenever you passed your driver's license exam. I have to have a copy of that on file. Why the fuck do I have to have a copy of that on file? It makes no damn sense. I mean, I've got a folder at work. Well, the business does. I call it mine because it's at my desk. A folder of probably half an inch thick, maybe a little bit more, of people's driver's licenses and or passport, which I did one yesterday, or the other piece of paper saying that you got your driver's license and you passed your test. I have got a folder, a manila folder, half an inch thick, maybe just a little bit more, of those IDs, and the FDA does not let me know what we need to do with them. We just need to keep them on file. And with our own custom point of sale system, we have to make sure that we mark, hey, we have filed their ID, or they are actually over 28, or, whatever. That's fucking ridiculous, man. I mean, what if I go to a gas station, which happens to be next door, that sells e-cigs? They don't have to take IDs and make copies of them. Why, of us as a business, have to be able to do that, or are required to do that? That's just asinine. And I got to use the word asinine, yay me. But that's just craziness. I can't wrap my mind around having a lot of people's IDs. Oh, and not only that, but if you're a shipping customer, meaning that if we ship to you in another state, we also have to have your ID. That part I can agree with. That part I do agree with, just for the fact that I don't know who you are or anything. Send me an ID of a picture that what we think matches your voice, so that way we can keep that on file and say, hey, yeah, you're filed. What can we send to you? Or, hey, you're not filed. Can you send your image over? I'm okay with that part. That I'm completely fine with, in being able to verify who you say you are. So, not only that, we have to submit information off to the FDA. Fine. We have to send off basically the formula that we use to create our juices, or something similar. Something to do with percentages of food flavoring, propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, the nicotine, something along those lines. Okay, fine with that. Let them know what we're putting in our juice. But then the troublesome part comes about. We have to do case studies. We have to do a chemical analysis. And those are the two big things that we have to do. Now, granted, that has been pushed off. The FDA recently stated that the PMTA, the Pre-Market Tobacco Authorization Process, has been pushed back until the year 2022. Okay, great. Doing a case study and getting a chemical analysis broken down of one flavor with one level of nicotine, with, a certain level of PG and VG. Let's just say green apple in 16 milligrams of nicotine. According to research, from my understanding, a regular cigarette combustible tobacco cigarette, rather, has around between 16 to 18 milligrams of nicotine. Okay, fine. So our green apple, 16. We have to take that particular flavor with that particular level of nicotine, do a case study on it, do a chemical analysis, meaning what is all in it, even though we're sending the formula of what ingredients we're using to the FDA. So we have to have a chemical breakdown of what is all in our juice. PG, VG, food flavoring, the nicotine, the actual chemical markup of each individual flavor, of each individual level of nicotine per food flavoring, and propylene glycol vegetable glycerin. We have to do that for not only just our one little level of nicotine, but for the ones above and below it. Above it, 24 and 20 and 36, and everything below that, 12, 8, 4, and even 0. And you know what even gets me is that these 0 milligrams of nicotine is not considered a tobacco product. I can make, our, say, green apple, for instance, green apple and 0. I can make that all damn day and have no problems with the FDA. Until I put it in a tank and a battery, which are now considered tobacco products. And then now that 0 milligrams of green apple, the 0 meaning no nicotine whatsoever, not even a trace, is now considered a tobacco product because I paired it with a tank that holds your juice, that gives you your vapor, and a battery that screws onto the tank that powers the tank to give you the vapor. That is now considered a tobacco product. And it's like, holy shit, guys. That makes no sense. However, the case studies, the chemical analysis, that part costs money. Everything else that we've done up until this point has been free of charge. It just takes employee time and the ability to be able to upload the information to the FDA's slow website. That's it. The part that costs money, a case study of having about 150 people do this various thing over the course of however many days or whatever, costs money, as well as a chemical analysis of sending a sample to a lab, having to do a spectrum analysis, or however they can get the individual chemical markups, whatever they do. I have no idea how they do it. That costs money. It's been estimated that at least for us, for one flavor of all the different nicotine levels will cost us roughly anywhere between $300,000 and $1 million for just one flavor. We've got over 50 flavors that we make on our own. That is money that we do not have. I mean, granted, yes, we're the oldest brick and mortar store in St. Louis. We've been here for probably going on 7.5 years. We don't have that kind of money. We are most of the shops that are around here are mom and pop shops. There's no official, hey, I'm from Smoke Tech or I'm from Joy Tech, and here is our little outlet store that we have in the mall, or outlet store, off of, near a Progressive Car Insurance or wherever. Okay, it's family-owned businesses that have seen a need to help the population of people here in the United States to get off from smoking, burning, combustible, leafy tobacco. That's what we started out on as a business. We saw that need and we're like, you know what, we want to help. And then it just exploded years later. So now everyone and their grandma has an e-cig business. Granted, there's nothing wrong with it. Competition is always a good thing. Peace. But people saw a need, and we were trying to fill that goal because, having the willpower to quit is a very hard thing. There are people out there that can do it. They'll be like, oh, okay, I'm done. I don't want cigarettes anymore, and call it a day. I don't know how they do it. I don't have that willpower. That's just not something I can do. Getting hypnotized, getting the auricular or ear therapy, using Chantix, which is extremely dangerous. What are some of the others? The gum, the inhaler. Jeez Louise. I haven't talked at all really much today, and I'm already losing my voice. The Chantix, the gum, the patches. Granted, they do work some of the time. Okay, fine. But from what I've seen, out of the 9,000 to 10,000 plus customers that we have, I have seen e-cigs work more efficiently than all the other things combined. The Chantix, the gum, the patch, the inhaler, the hypnotism, the auricular therapy, or the auricular ear. I just like saying the word auricular. The ear treatment. I have seen e-cigs work more efficiently than all of those others combined. And that's just me personally. I'm sure there are studies out there that will actually verify what I'm saying. I don't know, I didn't research, but from what I've seen personally in the business or in the industry, e-cigs have helped. And being able to not have the ability to help someone bothers me. Now, granted, I only smoked about a half a pack a day, and I'm moving my hands like I'm an Italian. Hey, I used to smoke so many cigarettes a day. Sorry. But I smoked about a half a pack a day for about 5 years. I tell people that I smoked half a pack a day for 10 years only because the cigarettes I was smoking were different than the other mass-produced pieces of shit cigarettes that are out there now. I used to smoke American Spirit cigarettes, and those are packed to the bone, packed to the teeth, packed to the brim, whatever, packed to the insert object here, with tobacco. I mean, you've seen people, maybe you have, seen people take a pack of smokes, and they just pack it on their wrist or on their leg or whatever to get the tobacco packed in their cigarette. And whenever they pull that cigarette out, yeah, you can see the cigarette tobacco is packed, but it's got a little bit of paper left on the end of it. You can't do that with American Spirit cigarettes. You just can't. You do that, you're going to be losing tobacco. So these cigarettes smoked like a mini cigar. It was not a quick 1 or 2 minute cigarette that most other brands are. No, this was a 5 to a 15 minute cigarette. It was one of those that if you didn't have time to smoke it, you shouldn't be smoking these in the first place. Regardless, that's what I tell people, and it was very... The cigarette itself, as a person who enjoyed smoking, I enjoyed it. The feel of it, the act of it, the taste of it, the social aspect of it. I loved every bit of it, but I didn't like what it was doing to me. Not going to go into detail because I'm recording this at my job. I'm not going to mention my job, and the FDA restricts me from saying anything health related. I cannot say if this is good or bad for you, but I can give you information. Peace. But I didn't like what it was doing to me, so I made the switch over to electronic cigarettes. The one thing I can't tell you is that I cannot say that I feel better or worse. I cannot say that I'm not winded anymore or if nothing has changed. I can't say anything like that. But I can say I have seen a change in my health. To me, that sounds good. Not necessarily bad. And I made the move over, and it has helped. Between my boss, unfortunately, from the last podcast has been ages, half a year, unfortunately, passing away in December 21st, 2016. See, yeah, okay, never mind. Brain fart. Between him, myself, and my manager, we have taught about 7,000 to 8,000 people how to be successful in moving away from combustible, burnable, leafy tobacco. I did not know that this was my passion until I asked about it. After I got hooked on it, after I got, situated with it. Got to rearrange my chair. My foot's killing me. After I got introduced to e-cigs, and that completely replaced my urges for a regular tobacco cigarette, I didn't know that this was my thing, to help people, to teach them how to use their equipment, to teach them how to be successful in moving away, to teach them about e-cigs and letting them know the good and bad of them. I didn't know it was my thing until I started working for my boss. I did not know. Been working with the company for 5 years, been off of cigarettes for 6. So it's amazing. But with the FDA, coming back full circle, but with the FDA putting some of these harsh regulations on us to where one bottle, one flavor would possibly put us out of business, and I know for certain, pretty much for certain, that the other e-cig shops around us or in the St. Louis area will more than likely be non-existent by the year 2022 if current regulations don't change. And that scares me. I love my job. I love being able to talk to people, to be able to try to get to know them on a personal level. And there are some customers that I have that I know by first and last name, and have talked to and developed a relationship with them. But I love doing that. I love seeing the switch on, hey, if you do this, then it's like this kind of thing. Everything like that. I love seeing a customer realize that they can do this, that they can be freed from tobacco, that they're no longer a prisoner of their cigarettes. And this is very liberating for them, and I love being able to see that. But with the FDA, it'll be to a point that if regulations don't change or rules don't change, we're gone. By 2022, I will not be working for my company. I will be out of a job. And unfortunately, I am going to do, well, not unfortunately. Unfortunately, I won't have anywhere to go. I'm sure I can find something, but still, it frustrates me that a whole industry based on wanting to help people that we were already pretty much self-regulating. Any respectable store would not sell to anyone under 18. Unfortunately, I know of 2 stores in St. Louis that were selling to minors. Not going to name names. But it's just like, holy cow, why? You're an idiot. You're harming us more than you're helping us. Anyway, peace, whatever. I will be out of a position to not help someone, and that motivates me to do everything I can. Call my legislators, do campaigns, work with my pilot to get this FDA shit done, do everything we can to be in compliance as best as we are able to. That's taken up a big chunk between, now and the previous podcast. Again, I'm going to try to keep doing this on a bi-weekly basis. But yeah, it's that part's been a real big one in doing so. The other part is actually, I'm sorry, if you keep hearing me come out of your right ear, I believe, if everything is set up properly, I keep turning to my right to look outside, as well as the TV I have for the video camera. I want to make sure that if someone does show up, I can pause it or make a really annoying sound, so that way whenever I listen to it, to render it, then I'll be able to hear it, edit that part out, smooth everything back together. Smooth like butter. Another thing that has been getting in the way has been recording. I have been a recording machine. Well, yeah, the last few times, quite a while. And there have been things I've been wanting to record, and I get up here to record, my podcast, and I didn't have anything to say. That's another thing. There were some things I just didn't have anything to say, and I would feel bad if I subjected you to a bunch of random bullshit. My friends call me Tangent Man. I could pick up a topic, talk about it, and not really have a point, except to just talk. Especially if I get drunk. Now, if I get drunk, I will go off on a tangent that makes no sense at all, that makes no point to any conversation that was already being had. It just happens. But no, that's the other big reason that I haven't been recording. It's because I didn't have anything to say. It sucks. But I'm getting back in the groove. I'm getting my routine back on recording, which I think that's actually done. Except for there's a couple of videos that I want to do, but it seems like I never have enough time in the day to fucking do it. And it frustrates me. Because these are fun games. I only released 2 fucking episodes of a game that I've been trying to release on a Sunday called Ghost 1.0. Fantastic little game. It's a side-scroller shoot 'em up, and I'm digging it. I like it. I want to keep playing it, but I would want to play and record so that way you guys can see, hey, that's actually a good game. Maybe I'll go and get it. Or anything along those lines. It's just like, oh my God. The other one is Spelunky. Now, granted, Spelunky is an older game, but there are people that are not redoing it, but making a fresh life, breathing fresh life into this game by coming up with their own modes of game, like Pack Rat from the Minecraft crew is doing one called RSVP, Robbing Shopkeepers Very Poorly, where basically he will go and play a regular daily challenge, and the first shopkeeper he sees, he has to rob him. And from there on out, he has to rob every single one. But he cannot use a shotgun. That's the thing. He can use any other weapon in the game, but he can't use a shotgun. Shotgun is basically too OP. And he has to try to get to the end of Spelunky without dying. And so I figured, you know what? Maybe I can do that, but I'll use that as my charity thing. Because if people have known me for a while, on my channel, I've done a lot of charity things. Not a lot, but I've done quite a bit for various charities. Mostly Child's Play charity. But I've been doing all of this donating through Far Lands or Bust to Child's Play charity. We all know. Most people that listen are going to know, but for those that don't know, Far Lands or Bust is a YouTube series created by Kurt J. Mack. He is the... Oh, hold up. My mailman's here. 1 second. Okay. That was my mailman. He come in and he gave me some mail and whatnot. I see him. I'm sitting down at a desk. I've got another desk out to the side where I've got my laptop, my phone, and of course, talking to you. And I see him pull up, and I see him standing at the door, and I see him push on the door. Now I know that before I turn on my open sign, I know that I unlocked the door, even opened it just to make sure it was open. Yeah. He pushed on the door and just stood there because he thought it was locked. I'm like, come on in, it's fine. And he just stood there because I know he can hear me. The door's not that damn thick. So I get up, go over to the door, and I open it up. He looks at me and then just hangs his head in shame. He goes, I was trying to open the wrong side of the door. He was trying to open up right where the hinge is, thinking that was the part that you push in to come in. I'm like, dude, you've been here multiple times. You know which way this door opens. He goes, I don't know how I've made it through my day thus far. If I've gotten to this point, I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe it's just old age. Oh, that's funny. At that point, I probably should have left it recording and then just edited out my name because he knows who I am and everything. Because that shit would have been hilarious. I'm going to have to try that next time. Charity. So, he is, Kurt J. Mack is the guy that is walking to the Far Lands in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3 and is doing a walkathon. Previously, in the rest of the other seasons, because this will be season 7, I believe, he has walked for Child's Play charity, a charity that gets books, toys, and games to kids in hospitals around the world. And anytime that I played a game that I wanted to donate with, I would take that and donate that through Far Lands or Bust to increase his goal, but to also help out Child's Play charity. And I've done, the first Let's Play. I would not mind revisiting this because now that I look back on it, that is just a shitty video. Oh my goodness. Was a game series called And Yet It Moves. Great game, by the way. I figured that as I played like the first level, I'm swearing in my head. I'm cussing up a storm in my head. I figure, hey, why not? Let me cuss for charity. Let me swear for charity. So for every swear word I said, I donated $1. And at the end of each episode that I did, I would donate that amount through Farlands or Bust to Child's Play charity. Then I did a game called Super Tux. Super Tux is a Mario-style game. A Mario platformer kind of game. And every time I died, I would donate. The next one after that was an incompleted version of Archibald's Adventures. Did not complete the game, gave up on it because I was running myself broke trying to donate. So I laid off of it. It wasn't until that I brought it back up again after about a year, revised my donation strategy, and for every time that I died or restarted, I would donate money. But along with that would become milestones for like every 100 deaths or restarts. If I had to cheat, I would donate. There was a minimum donation that I would do. And that got to be pretty fun. And I did complete the game as well as the 2 expansions that were out for it. Completed all of that. And I figured, you know what? I want to do another game. I want to do Spelunky. Because I figure, hey, I think this is... Wait, let me check. I've got it written down. Spelunky. Alright, I think this is it. Because I figured there would be a minimum amount of $10 donated. But each level has 4 different stages. If I complete a level, that's an extra 10 donated on top of the minimum. If I die before I get to the end of the 4th stage in the level, then all previously cleared stages in that level are $1. So let's just say that I get to stage 2. Well, there's that $10 minimum donation plus $10 for clearing level 1. So now I've got level 2 to do, and say I only get through the 3rd stage. Well, then that means that's $3 donated, 1 for every stage. But if I complete all 4 stages, completing the level is donated $10. But if I hit stage 4 and I die, then that's $4. If it makes any sense. I'm sure I'll explain it better whenever something comes up. Alright, gotta pause. My manager up here has arrived, and I will be right back. Alright. Ooh, wow, I peeked the fuck out of that. I have to fix that. Alright, sorry about that. My manager up here at our second store came by and we chatted for a good 30 to 45 minutes catching up, because I don't hardly ever get to see her unless it's a bi-weekly thing for paychecks. Or she'll come up, get her paycheck and call it a day. And we'll just sit and catch up about what I'm doing at our main store or whatever the tasks that I have, and keep her up to date on what's happening. Anyway, I was talking about charity. Well, I'm wanting to do Spelunky for charity, but I want to do it through Farlands or Bust, because I really enjoy what Kurt is doing. I mean, I love the fact that he's doing a walkathon for charity. I think it's a great thing to do. I tried my own charity thing. It failed. Well, it didn't fail. Money was raised, but not the amount that I had hoped for, which is completely understandable. I think I failed at the execution, but I was successful in getting some donations. That is fantastic. I love that. I love the fact that I was able to try to set something up, but I think the setup, the execution, the planning, I don't think I planned well. So, yeah. So, anyway, I want to be able to do that, but I can't until Kurt figures out what kind of charity that he wants to do for Far Lands or Bust. So the series that I'm wanting to do is Spelunky. I haven't been able to do one time. That's a big thing, unfortunately, as of late, to record. But I have been playing Spelunky, trying to practice and trying to get good. Hey, Penguin, get good. Get good, scrub. That kind of stuff. So I've been doing that because I want to see how far I can get. And I've been doing okay. I still rush way too quick. I do completely suck. But I like it. Pack Rat had turned me on to it, and he didn't say, "Hey, Xavier, you need to play this game." No, he didn't do that. But just watching him play and seeing the shenanigans and fun that he's had, I thought, hey, I'll just pick up the game too and play that. So that's something that I'm enjoying playing, and I want to record more of that. But it seems like that every time I sit down to record, something else always comes up and things like that. And that kind of leads me into... Oh, shut up. I know, server. That leads me to another series I'm doing with a group of Farlanders called Don't Starve Together. That has been a blast. I have had fun in it. The downside to that is, one, I thought it was going to be a quick game. A quick, hey, we're playing this. Oh, hey, something happened. Hey, we reached the end. Oh, no. I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. I thought that by getting at least 4 people together, we would be able to complete it, to do whatever. No. We've barely scratched the surface on the game. Like, we've gone a full year in game. As of this particular recording, if I get it up today, we'll have 4 more episodes to release before we start back on year 2. The guys I'm playing with, Typhoon Gunner, Kono Tyran, Fortane, Shadow Wolf, and myself, I have enjoyed every bit of it. I don't know the game. I know the stuff that I can do, but everyone else has this vast amounts of information that it's like, what do I do, George? What do I do? I don't understand. Can I make a shovel or I don't know. But that's fine, because I do want to play it in, 1, my own way, but 2, a non-spoiled kind of way. And I have been able to. That I've not had any issues. The thing that gets me is, I guess I'm not used to recording in big chunks. Like for instance, whenever I do my Farlander Patreon server recording, or my Dirt recording, that's about 30 minutes at a time. I can edit it, it renders, I can upload it, call it a day. This, I'm sitting down for about 2.5, maybe 3 hours, maybe more, depending on if we get to talking before we start recording. And that takes time out of the day that I have to do other things, and a lot of times it's on my day off. I got other shit to do. Thankfully, my fiance has been very forgiving, very kind, and, letting me do this. But there are things that I want to do with her, but by the time I'm done, I don't get a chance to do them. It's not a bad thing. It's just that I'm not used to it. And I don't know, maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe, knowing me, I'm probably selfish. Let me take a drink of my Coke real quick. I'm sitting here with my manager, just a little bit ago. Started talking some more, and my throat's dry as hell. Maybe I'm just selfish. Because there are other games I want to record, but by the time I'm done recording this, I don't have any other time to record. And I want to get my own routine back. So I've been thinking about this. I'm thinking that I might drop off from the Don't Starve Together recording sessions until a certain time has passed, because I want to be able to record my Ghost. I want to record Dirt a little bit better instead of being a little rushed. I want to record Spelunky. And there's other games that I wouldn't mind playing to put on my channel to show people. Granted, I am not a big, person in the YouTube world. I've got 200 plus subscribers. Thank you, each and every one of you, by the way. It's just that I want to be able to do my own thing, and it feels like that by me doing this, I feel, as while it is a great idea, it wasn't my idea. If it was my idea, I think I'd be more gung-ho for it and keep going, but I was asked. I can't remember by whom, but I was asked to join. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll record. I'll do some recording and have a little fun with it, and I have had fun. Please, if any of y'all are listening that I play with, don't take this the wrong way. Playing with you guys has been fun. I've done a recording with Shadow on a series that he needs to release so I can start releasing the rest of them. You goober. And that was fun. I had no problems with that. But I think it's also part of a social aspect. Get me here at work. I can talk to you just about anything relating to e-cigarettes. We can talk for hours if need be, and I've done that with customers. Get me with friends that I can talk to them for hours, drunk or not. Depending on the amount of people, I can be a little outgoing. But whenever it comes to people that have a louder personality, shut up, motorcycle, that have a louder personality than I'm just now starting to see this, and it seems like I turtle up more and just let things progress as I do my own thing. And I've noticed that through all the recordings, like the last probably 3 uploads that I've done, I haven't talked a lot. I've only given my own little input, not really contributed to a conversation, because there's other people that are like, well, hey, we got to do this. We need to do this. Da 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 da. And not only that, it seems like I'm having to really rush to get something done. It's like, that's not my personality. That is way too quick for what my brain can handle. That I can't handle it, apparently. That's when I become introverted at that point. Depending on the situation, I'm typically a bit extroverted, but then my extroversion runs out and I'm introverted. And I think that that's what's happening here, and it's not making for good content. While I'm having fun with my friends, or who I would like to consider friends, or consider them that they are a friend to me, however you dice it, I am having loads of fun with them. But the content isn't there. Like what I'm providing isn't there. And if I can see it, I think others can see it too. And I think that's the real big driving force on me wanting to step away from doing any more, or at least at this point, any more Don't Starve Together. So I'll have to tell my peeps that, because that's, and as I'm sitting here talking about it, it makes absolute sense to me. Because I think that's what I was thinking in my head, but I wasn't bringing the words out for it. But that's what's going on with that. I love the game. The game is ridiculously hard, challenging, and fun, and completely different than anything I've ever played. Plus, I have people I'm playing with that I happen to either enjoy watching or just talking to in general. That's always completely fun for me. But it seems like the content that I'm trying to provide is either the same old, or is, in my opinion, getting worse because there's louder personalities than myself that my brain was like, yeah, no, can't do it. Yeah, they're too loud. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to go do the other thing that I normally do, like gather poop. You know, that kind of jazz. And then get back to my own recording setup, recording routine. Because I actually do miss finding other games to play, getting permission to play other games, etc., etc. So yeah, I apologize that. It sucks. But it's giving me a little bit of control back to me to be able to function as a human, to be able to function decently, I guess. Function okay as a person on the YouTubes. Again, granted, I'm not the biggest or most popular. I've got 200 plus subscribers, and thank you to each and every one of you. It's just that I want to do more of what I want to do. And I guess that makes me selfish. And for that, I apologize. If I keep talking, it's going to be beating a dead horse. So I'm going to move on. Server related stuff. Let me rearrange my chair real quick and take a sip of soda. I think I'm almost done. I've been recording, at least for right now, for about 58 minutes. Golly. And take off about 15 or so seconds for dead air that I'll try to edit out any hissing or whatever. Anyway, pre-edit thoughts. Server. The Patreon Minecraft server for Kurt that is doing well. Oh my goodness. It is doing fucking fantastic. As of right now, let's just say the test server that I have running at home is running well with the 1.12.1 update. It is a security update, and I hope to have that done this coming Sunday. It was supposed to be this last Sunday, but again, shit got in the way. Life happened. So I'm giving it an extra week to shut the server down, update the server jar to 1.12.1, and I'll be sure to put this in the Patreon server Discord. But yeah, that whole shebang happened. that was taking up a lot of my time. A while back, before, I want to say probably February, maybe? Yeah. See, this is what, August? I'm going to say probably end of January, early February, we started to see some issues with the Patreon server for Kurt. From here on out, called Patreon server. Started seeing some issues to where blocks would lag out, chunk generation would lag out, rubber banding would occur, and it was just here and there. It wasn't that bad. I have played on other servers where that was kind of the norm. I mean, it sucks, but it was kind of the norm, and people were putting up with it. And before I even continue, if any of the patrons from Kurt's Patreon are listening and you've gotten to this point, thank you for being absolutely patient, not only with the server, with Kurt, but also with me, since I had been tasked on keeping the server up and running and things like that. Thank you for being patient with any and all requests that I had asked of people. Just thank you for putting up with me, because I know that I was probably a bit of a bitch in terms of pulling my hair out, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Thank you from the bottom of my heart on sticking with Kurt, which also is sticking with me, helping to help get the server up and running, and sticking it through to where we're at today, because without that, I don't think... What the fuck? When did that start happening? The air conditioner just kicked on and it turned off my TV. And then turned it back on. That's weird. You've never done that. Huh. Thank you for being patient and sticking through this. That being said, for those that don't know, as I was saying, we were having a little bit of lag, but then it started to get really worse, like horrible bad. Like, say you spawned at your home, cool, you can go anywhere in your home and not have a problem. As soon as you started to move, to generate the chunks or find the chunks that were there previously, you would rubber band. And that would basically mean when traveling from point A to point B, you get halfway there, lag happens, and you get transported back to A. That's essentially what rubber banding is. That would happen. Sometimes chunks wouldn't even load. If one person was on, it was fine. 2 people on, almost unplayable. I had gone through just about every single combination of fixes, as in a server jar upgrade for Spigot, because that's what we're using. We're using Spigot 1.12 right now on the main server. Test server is 1.12.1. I tried different server jars for Spigot. I tried even betas of Spigot. I tried editing the configuration of Spigot for less mobs, less view distance, various other tweaks that I found online. And everything I did, it did not match up to my test server at home, as well as third server that I purchased for a month, put our files on that, and run it from there, and that didn't show any issues. So that led me to believe that it's either a server issue or a Java issue. So talking with Kurt, I told him, hey, here's the breakdown. It's either server or Java. Can we see if we can get at least updated to Java? Let's see if that works. And after some back and forth, we got Java updated. We were running on an old version of Java. First off, thank you, Drevier Sylvanus, for creating a plugin for me that tells me the Java version, the CPU architecture, the operating system, and I think there was another thing, I can't remember, of what Minecraft host we're on. Thank you. Without that, I don't think that I could have made a recommendation on the Java issue, because that helped out immensely. I don't know how you did it, but thank you for doing that for me. I appreciate it. Words can't compare to what I want to say. So, with the help of Drevier's plugin, I found out that we were on an old version of Java. We were at least 5 to 6 revisions behind. Now we're only 1 revision behind, and that's better than what we've ever had. Okay. That's fine and dandy. We got the new version of Java, and things were running okay, running better. But then the problems came back, and the problems were worse than ever. I mean, it hurt to have one person on. There is a measure of performance called TPS, ticks per second. How many ticks does it take to complete, or how many ticks it takes the server? Okay, let me think. How is this? Ticks per second, because Minecraft runs on ticks, not necessarily seconds. There are 20 ticks to a second. And Redstone relies on the ticks, essentially. So with the server, if it was just stationary, nothing going on previously, the ticks per second would be about 19. 19's fine. Damn it. I'll take another drink of soda. I'm almost done. I'll try to hurry up here. The server would run at about 19, almost 19 flat. But as soon as someone jumped on, it would go to 18, then 17. If more people jumped on, it would drop even further down to, say, 12. It got horrible. Typically, TPS, if it's basically 18 and above, maybe 18 and a half above, you're running a good server. If it's 19 and above, 19, Xavier, that's how you say the word, 19. 19 and above is better. Definitely better. Okay. Wasn't working. So I'm like, Kurt, it's gotta be this. I mean, the Java has helped, but it has not made things better. Still having issues. Can you please ask the host about this, and this? Sure enough, they came back and said, hey, we can do this. We can move you to a new node. Fine. Sure enough, it happened. They moved us to a new node. Server went down unexpectedly. Came back up. And lo and behold, holy shit, the server is running faster than whenever I first got on it when Kurt decided that he was going to launch a Patreon server. It's running faster than it's ever ran. The one update behind the latest update for Java, Spigot 1.12, new server hardware. This thing in my opinion, the fastest that I've ever seen this server run. It's fan-fucking-tastic. Absolutely love it. I'm glad that I can now see 6 to 9 people on without any lag whatsoever. It makes me feel good that with y'all's patience, me understanding how to run a server. Where am I going with this train of thought? Oh, yeah, I'm glad that with y'all's patience, my understanding of running a server, the trust I got from Kurt to, be able to, administrate the server, makes me feel good that there is a place that we all can come together and play and just have fun with creations and everything else, and just makes me feel good. I am so glad that this issue is fixed. It's just amazing of all the shit that I had to go through in order to get her done, so to speak. What else did I have to say? I think that's about it. I think that's about it with what I had for the podcast. If you do have any questions and you want to send them my way, I'll be more than happy to answer them. You can send an email to xavior.penguin at disturbed-penguin.net. The subject line has to be podcast questions. Otherwise, the email will be ignored and deleted. One individual, I can't remember the name. I played with this dude before on another server I was on called the Damn Near Vanilla server, DNV. He had asked if he could join the server. You can, but you have to be a Patreon or a patron of Kurt. You can do so by following the link on your screen, patreon.com/KurtJMac. I believe a minimum donation is $10 for Kurt. You can get on the server and we can play games. Well, not games, but we can play together. I can't remember his name. He was actually a pretty decent kid. I say kid, and I'm 34 myself. I'm still a young pump. And a punk, too. That's what I label myself as. I'm just a punk. I'm just a dumbass. But yeah, you can join. You can play with other people from all around the world. We've got people in Japan. We've got people in the Netherlands. We've got people in Sweden. We've got people in the UK and Ireland and all across the US. I think we have peeps in Canada. I know of one in Brazil. But we're all over. We are all over. We are an amalgamation, a stirring pot, a melting pot of various Farlanders from all around the world playing together on a server to celebrate not only Kurt and his accomplishments, but celebrate together as fans, to come together as one, to have a blast. And I have definitely have had a blast here. I'm going to continue on having a blast. I've got some big projects coming up, and part of that will be displayed for Saturday. Whenever I release my Minecraft video, I got to record it either tonight or tomorrow. So I got to get that done. That one's actually going to be a special episode for recent events. I'm not going to go into it all that much, but there will be some special. There has been a very special event that has happened that I will be attempting to help out with. You'll know that on Saturday. But anyway, like I said, if you have any questions, send me an email, and I will answer them in my own way. You can ask me almost anything, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for listening, either in the MP3 format on my website, disturbed-penguin.net, or on YouTube in visual form. I've been going for 1 hour and 15 minutes. I think it's time for me to shut the hell up and call it a day. Anyway, thank you for listening/watching. My name is Xavier Penguin. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Wait. Let's try that again. And I'll catch you all on the flip side. Damn, that outro still sucked.